Welcome folks, this is Wear and Tear, yet another YouTube outdoor and gear review channel. Today I want to show you 5 knives that do not break the bank, 5 knives that are no nonsense, robust knives, very practical. So very high value knives under $30 or 30 euros. The first one is one of my favorite knives of all times, the Hans Conch. It's a knife with 8CR 14 MeV steel, so not exactly high-end steel, but definitely a very serviceable steel. It comes in this rescue knife design with a cord cutter and glass breaker. Both of those features I never needed so far. It looks a little bit ugly at first glance, a very odd shape, but when you actually start using it, it turns out that it has very good ergonomics. It runs on washers and has a flipper design, and it flips like most other knives only flip with ball bearings. It's butter smooth. It's a simple line lock mechanism, so again there is nothing sophisticated. The handle scales are plastic. And the outstanding feature of this knife is it has about 116 grams of weight, 117 grams. So it is very light. I would consider it a medium-sized pocket knife. So this is an extremely practical knife. Something that I like also is the blacked out belt clip, which makes it able to be carried more inconspicuous. So it's not showing off that you carry a knife. So very light, very compact, super action, and the handle is thick enough so it has actually good ergonomics. You have good grip on that knife. So an ugly duckling, but for under $20 US, you can pick it up in some China stores online. The Hans Conch is really an awesome utility knife. The other knife is pretty much a standard for budget knives. Most people know it. It's the Ontario Rat 1. There's also a Model 2 that is a little bit smaller. This is already a full-size pocket knife. Not extra large, but definitely full-size. Very capable AUS 8 steel. So again, a budget steel, but very easy to service. Line lock mechanism. The Rat 1 has just a classic shape. It's a classic design. It's beautiful, and there are many variants of it, different handle scales of course, and also there are higher grade steels now available D2, but you won't get them under $50. This one you can pick up for $30 in Walmart, so it is very, very affordable. If you just want a good pocket knife with good ergonomics, you go with the Ontario Rat 1. I like the deployment on this one. It's just thumb studs, no flipper, and it, at least for my size, I wear large or X large gloves, I can deploy it so easily. This is for me the best thumb stud deployable knife that I ever saw. Other than that, the weight of this one is a little bit heftier. You definitely will feel it. So it's more like 130 grams. Oh, no, it shows 147. Yeah, whatever. It's definitely heavier than the Hans Conch. You feel it in the pocket a little bit, but that's fine. Also blacked out belt clip, which is very practical. Now the next knife for under $30, 30 euros, is a knife made by CRKT. It is called the Fort Casper. Now this knife is a little bit of a different kind of beast. It's a little bit more complex. Also, like the other knives, it runs on washers. Ball bearings have nothing to do with a utility knife, in my opinion. Ball bearings are too easy to damage. Now this knife comes with a secondary lock that you have to manually engage here. Now the liner lock is secured, so you cannot easily open it, or it cannot be easily opened even by force. With this little extra safety lock. Now this is not a very necessary feature, but it is definitely nice to have. The ergonomics in this one are excellent as well, especially if you have a large hand. You still fit completely into this handle. That's pretty awesome. Now, this knife was a little bit more designed as a tactical knife. You see the blade shape and everything, but of course most people will just use it in a civilian capacity. I hope you never have to use a knife in self-defense, because that would be really serious, but this would be designed more for that purpose in mind. But I picked it up because it has a low price and it has an interesting blade shape, very useful if you like serrations. This is definitely a knife for you. I didn't use this one as much as I do the other ones, but when I use it, I like how it deploys. It deploys with so much authority, and I like the ergo of this. So this one already lends itself to a little bit of harder use. It also is heavier. It's almost a little bit too heavy in my opinion. Let me see. Yeah, it clocks in with more than 200 grams, 207 grams. That's a bit hefty for EDC knife. I mean, for 207 grams, you can already carry something else, something better. But for under $30, awesome knife. Now the next one is automatic knife, Ganso knife, and this is the Ganso Firebird F758 in 440C steel, stone wash finish. I have this knife since a few years. I think I never reviewed it. I like to play it with it from time to time. It has an awesome automatic deployment, so you just disengage the safety here, and then you push the button and it opens. You really wouldn't need the safety because it does not deploy by accident even in your pocket, or so you don't need to worry. But again, it's good to have a safety. Now the ergo on this is very good. It's a rather light knife. Let's look. It is, yeah, 131 grams. Again, absolutely reliable. Good locking mechanism. I like the way this knife works. And it's totally 100% a user knife. It's really practical. There's no downside about it. So 440C steel is good quality, very serviceable. Also, big lanyard hole. So this one is really not just a play knife, and despite it being an auto knife, it's absolutely practical. I wouldn't worry too much about dirt getting in it or something. It also runs on washers. The mechanism is super reliable. I have carried it a lot, and I carry it occasionally. I always enjoy it. It's really useful. Nothing wrong with this knife, and it also comes in way under $30 if you manage to pick it up. There is also a version with aluminum handles and not with G10, so maybe one day I get a hand on that version as well. Another one is also a Ganso knife, and this time with an axis lock, and it is made or inspired, heavily inspired by a much more Benchmade knife. This is called Edelsteel, which is also which is basically a rebranded Ganso knife. It's the ES803, but definitely it is a Ganso made knife, and I like the axis lock. I like to play with the axis lock. It's just awesome how it operates. You need to put a little bit of work in it, play with it a lot, and then it gets really smooth. Also runs on washers. The weight is 146 grams. The handle is, the ergonomics on these knives are basically, they're good, but I wish they would have chosen a little bit of a different surface texture on the G10 handles. It's not as comfortable as I would want it to be, but here, especially the blade, it's definitely a user. Also 440C steel. I already have a little breakout here at the tip, so the knife was a little bit abused already, but still, it's super sharp out of the box. It is a user. I didn't even bother to clean it because, yeah, it has skeletonized handles to save a little bit on the weight. Again, this is a full-size knife. and it's very capable. And compared to the other knives, this is not a pure utility knife. It is really also very nice to play with this blade. It's just awesome. You can deploy it in two different manners. Just disengage the axis lock and then flick it open, or flick it open with the thumb studs. So beautiful knife, awesome to play. And also like between 20 and 30 euros. So you see, these 5 knives are knives that are definitely suitable for everyone who wants a capable folder and doesn't want to spend a whole lot of money. This, in my opinion, is absolutely outstanding because it is way under $20 and it's such a useful piece of gear. The Ontario Red is unbeatable. This one is kind of like more option for people who look into more dangerous looking knives, want something bigger. This one is perfect budget option for people who want to try out an auto knife, and this one is for the axis lock fraction. So 5 very good choices for people who don't want to spend a whole lot on a very useful and very capable knife. This is Wear and Tear, over and out.